Hello and welcome everyone. Today's video features the USS Johnston that is finally being introduced into World of Warships. Now USS Johnston was famously lost during the Battle of Samar Island while heroically defending her escort carrier fleet. The test name for USS Johnston is Frank Friday, and I assume this is a tribute to the United States Navy admiral that served in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. He received the Medal of Honor for his actions as commander of the Navy forces at the Battle of Veracruz in Mexico. So I'm assuming this is a tribute, this Navy admiral. So this is the USS Johnston. Fletcher-class with a bite. A little bit different, this Fletcher-class, as it gets access to semi-armor piercing shells. So let's take a closer look. Now I must remind you, this ship is in testing, so it is subject to balancing changes throughout the testing process. So starting with the armor, quite basic stuff, 19mm. This is your standard Fletcher class or destroyer armor. The turrets, 20mm, all round protection, and the superstructure, 13mm. Now this is backed up by having 20,250 hit points. We'll show you quickly the build. Obviously, I'm using Survivability Expert for the extra hit points, and this is the current build that I am testing on the Johnston. So 20,250 hit points. So moving to the main battery. The Johnston gets 5 of the single-mounted 127mm guns. They have a 3.8 second reload time. They can rotate 180 degrees in just over 6 seconds. You can fire both high explosive and semi-armor piercing shells. High explosive gets a max damage of 1800, fire chance of 6%, 21mm of penetration, and a shell speed of 792 meters per second. Now the armor piercing, or semi-armor piercing I should say, 2,500 max damage. These can pen 36mm of armor. So that's the bow and stern sections of most battleships, for example. They have a shell speed of 792 meters per second, the same as the high explosive. Now, this is a good moment to show you the ship's consumables, as this ties in directly to the main battery. You get a burst fire alternative fire mode. This has a reload time of 7.5 seconds, an interval between individual shots of 1.17 seconds, and you can fire 3 bursts per series. So once activated, you have the opportunity to put out some serious short bursts of damage. Now while we're here, we'll look at the consumables, damage control parity, American smoke screens, 33-second consumable action time, and a dispersion time of 127 seconds. Very good smokes. You also get engine boost, which is very nice, for an additional 8%. So moving to the torpedo armament, you get 2 X5 launchers. These are 533mm torpedoes. Both are centrally mounted for use on either side, so quite flexible. Very good damage, very good range, quite good speed and concealment. The only downside with these torpedoes is the actual reload time of 170 seconds. So quite slow reloading. But for the rest, very, very good stats. 13.5 kilometer range, 17,900 max damage, and a torpedo speed of 66 knots, with a detectability range of 1.4 kilometers. So all in all, very, very good torpedo stats, except for the actual reload time. Moving to the depth charges. Max damage 5100. You get 2 charges, dropping 12 bombs per charge. So a very large number of depth charges with pretty high damage, with a slower reload time of 40 seconds. These are ship-based depth charges, obviously. See them here on the stern. In terms of AA defense, Johnston gets 6 of these single-mounted 20mm. And here, more on the stern. 5 of these twin-mounted O4s, 40mm. 10 in total. Here on the superstructure as well. The 5 main battery gun turrets, these 127mm, they are dual purpose. They also provide AA fire. So continuous average damage of 184. You can see the values here on screen. The majority is medium range. 4 shell explosions per flak salvo with a max damage of 1617. These have an action zone from 3.5 to 5.8 kilometers. Priority sector reinforcement is 35%, 10-second action time and 10-second prep time. And the max firing range is, of course, 5.8 kilometers. In terms of maneuverability, I will point out, mounting the speed flag here, base speed 36.5, boosted to 38.3. With the speed boost, you can get this up to over 41 knots in straight line speed. So turning circle radius of 560 meters, rudder shift time of 3 seconds, and then finally, stats wise, a concealment rating of 96. That is, of course, utilizing a full stealth build concealment system and the Captain Skill Concealment Expert, bringing that down to 5.8 kilometers. You will be detected by enemy submarines at 2.6 kilometers and by enemy aircraft at the same distance, 2.6 kilometers. So this is the USS Johnston, famously lost in battle at the Battle of Samar, the Philippine Islands, during the Leyte Gulf campaign, taking on superior Japanese numbers to defend her escort carriers. A lot of people have been waiting a long time for USS Johnston to enter the game. We are coming up to the launch day of USS Johnston. I believe it's the 25th of March 1943. So I will be updating the community section with a detailed account of Johnston during the Battle of Samar, and we will be releasing a short video to commemorate her launch day. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and you don't miss any of these future updates. Now, one final reminder, this is a work in progress still, subject to balance changes, so just remember this. We look forward to seeing her on the live server very soon in testing. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a comment and please like the video. It helps the channel immensely. I thank you all for your support in advance. If you'd like to see some live gameplay, feel free to come over and visit me on Twitch. You can see the link here on screen. I look forward to seeing you all.